In 2001, No Limit's deal with Priority runs out.
I'm a free agent. Let me just check out who else I could go do some business with. And at that time, Universal was at the top of their game. They wanted to give me a lot of money. I'm like, all right, let's see how this works.
He started calling No Limit the new No Limit.
It's time to start over with a new foundation.
The new No Limit. It was the 504 Boys, Romeo, C Murder, Silk, and of course, Master P.
The first album was Masterpiece, Game Face. And Weebie was on the video, Ooh Wee. Weebie was hot.
Got you working on the wall till you run out of breath. No limit, like I told you, so y'all give us respect.
By the time New No Limit emerged, No Limit was 10, 12 years old. The sound is changing.
Ellie Mae, girl, where you at? This No Limit boy trying to do that dance. Say rock the boat, don't let it sink. It's time to go to war, I got the tank.
Master P was an icon as a businessman at that point, so people weren't really looking for new music from him yet. While the album got mixed reviews, it actually went to number 18 on the Hot 100.
Can't stop us, can't stop me. Y'all know where we'll be.
While Master P was doing the new No Limit, C Murder simultaneously was trying to build up his own label.
True Records is distributed by No Limit. You heard me?
I'm here to let the whole world hold hard control. Conquer my soul.
True Records, you know, that was supposed to be his baby. Use that brand to stay out of trouble.
The jail trying to get paid, still on a rampage, jumping behind some bushes, dodging cops, another close shave.
But it was getting more wild and harder to contain.
It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
The more power C got, the more out of control I think he became.
Wonder how I keep from going under.
By late 2001, C Murder started to get in some serious trouble with the law, facing aggravated burglary, aggravated assault with a firearm.
Thugged out outlaw. P and his brother were constantly clashing over, C, you need to stay out of these streets.
Here come the motorbiker boy. They about to get comfy. I love my brother, but he is own man. He is own boss.
No Limit, True Records.
You have to deal with the consequences that come with it.
I told you. Even though C was making millions, he would walk through the projects like he never left.
See, murder, this how I do my thing.
He had a mansion out at the country club, but he was most proud of his apartment in the Callio projects. C loved that environment.
I'm just like them. Ain't no motherfucker coming back, nigga ain't never left. Take a nigga out the hood, you can't take the hood out the nigga. See what I'm saying?
See Murder, you know, he smoke with us, chill. He one of us, he a part of us, you hear me?
P was trying to tell him, bro, you can still be yourself, but you got to come up out of there. And C was like, I can't be myself if I'm always out of there.
C saw that as turning his back on his people, and he wasn't going to do that.
He ain't gonna play. If it go down, it go down.
Master P's brother C Murder is wanted for attempted murder in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
August 15th, 2001, C and his crew went to Club Rags in Baton Rouge. After he refused to be searched, C allegedly tried to shoot the owner of the club, as well as a bouncer. Corey Miller later turned himself in and ultimately was released on bond.
I definitely was disappointed because he had an opportunity to go a different direction like I did. I got my family to raise, then you still going to these clubs with these guys. So I'm like, bro, next time you go to jail, I ain't messing with you.
Shortly thereafter, there is yet another incident linked to Corey Miller.
On January 12th, 2002, C and his crew went to Platinum Nightclub, that's in Harvey, Louisiana.
Harvey is across the river from New Orleans in Jefferson Parish.
On January 12th, 2002, I was working security at the Platinum Club.
There was a rap battle going on, and in the middle of that rap contest was 16-year-old Steve Thomas.
It was packed, you know, the music loud. I knew Steve. He was trying to be a rapper. You know, he was a cool guy. See Murder and some other dudes, I see them in the club.
and C Murder and his friends are hanging out in a booth.
Apparently, as he had stepped off the stage, a group of men attacked Thomas.
Fight breaks out, so I run over there, break the fight up. I'm right there. I'm looking at Corey Miller. He was in the fight. And I grabbed Corey. I'm like, chill, big dog. So he's like, all right, cool, big dog, cool. But he went back to fight. So when he went back to fighting, I heard that pow.
When that single gunshot went off, that crowd scattered, including C and his friends. And once the crowd cleared, Steve Thomas was just lying there in a pool of blood. He ended up dying from a single gunshot wound to the heart.
It is a real tragedy. And unlike all of the other times Corey Miller has gotten in trouble, now there is actually a dead body.
The police took me down to the detectives bureau. They showed me 6 pictures. But they're like, who do you know in these pictures? I'm like, that's C Murder. Okay, sign the back. So I signed the back. Not one time did it say, C Murder the killer, sign the back. Never.
6 days after the shooting happened, Corey was arrested.
Boom, you go to jail. I honestly know C Murder didn't do that murder, but karma's a motherfucker.
January 2002, Corey Miller was charged with the second-degree murder of 16-year-old Steve Thomas. He pled not guilty.
That night, when he got in that trouble, the system wanted him. He was a target.
Darnell Jordan claimed under oath that Miller shot Thomas.
It felt like a nightmare. I didn't never want to go that route, but I was scared. They wanted them bad.
After 15 days of testimony, the jury came back with a guilty verdict.
This was the crushing blow for the Miller family. In Louisiana, if you're convicted of murder, that's a mandatory life sentence without parole.
Do you feel like you failed your brother?
No, to be honest with you. I always try to remove C from that bad environment. So now, man, he's fighting a case. I know he's innocent, but, you know, I had to preserve No Limit.
In many ways, P had no choice but to distance himself from the situation and ultimately his brother.
They've been waiting.
All right, y'all ready for this, y'all?
And so P being P, he forged right ahead with the 504 boys.
504 boys! Tight whip!
In the hood, serving like I'm a restaurant waiter.
We did 504 Boys, the second album. That's when we did the Tight Whip song.
I'm a 504 boy, so I'm constantly with it.
We roll tight whips every day. Come on. Hustling to make a paper, but that's okay.
The talent is crazy that we have now. Again, we definitely taking this to the next level.
Female throwbacks with a convertible ship. Candy paint Stormbirds with the iced out chip.
They call me Richie Rich. I got my name in the seats.
And around that time, you had a Lil Romeo going to cribs.
I'm Lil Romeo. Y'all about to see my crib.
People forget the influence that I had at a young age.
By the way, I'm the first kid with a crib. Probably so.
2002 Kids' Choice Awards. Please welcome Lil Romeo and Sabrina's Melissa Joan Hart.
Forget what you heard about No Limit fell off. Romeo's already had another hit record.
You got another album coming out, man?
Oh yeah, my second album. Youngest soldier, I got the game, get it. The new No Limit game time, get it.
Yeah, he got a hot song. Y'all gonna look out for that.
Number one on Billboard, I'm sorry I replaced.
That record went double platinum.
Romeo is a big piece of No Limit. Growing.
So I bite like a gator. Another year passed, so my game got greater.
Again, P come out victorious. But we got a problem now.
If I mess up this time, it's gonna be my fault, not your fault. You know? It's gonna be on me.
Let's see what other kind of action we can find.
Like, Mystical just got into some shit that, even though he's no longer with the label, it gave a bad look on No Limit.
Michael Tyler, or Mystical as he's known to fans, and his 2 bodyguards pled guilty to charges of sexual battery.
Ain't none of us getting no situation by singing too loud in church. But did we commit any crimes? Fuck no, man, not like that.
When he was under my umbrella, he would have never went to jail for what he went to jail for.
So Mystical. That situation went down, and then Soldier Slim got shot up.
Another soldier gone.
Soldier Slim was actually gunned down on his mother's front lawn.
Yeah, heaven for a gangster, gangster.
You look at Soldier Slim when he died. He was a wild boy.
Is there heaven for a gangster, gangster?
At that time, he was signed with another company, but we felt that pain because when you think of Soldier Slim, you think of No Limit, and he died too soon.
All my homies dying in the pen. You look at like a Soldier Slim or a C, they like a foot in the street, a foot in the music business. I seen it happen in No Limit. It destroyed a lot of people around us. We gotta break that negative cycle, that period of time. It made me change up my music, in the way I think, everything.
Everything with P is a lesson. When Soldier Slim died, P started thinking about his family.
I have to keep Romeo away from the streets. That was my job.
Seeing death at an early age and seeing the case with my Uncle C, it made me realize that life isn't promised. It's like I'm prepared to do everything that it takes to be successful and not be in the streets. So in 2003, my career started taking off even more.
Tell the people how old you are these days.
I'm 13.
13 years old, you got 3 Billboard Awards. You're a movie star, right? You got your own TV show.
Now I have the top TV show on Nickelodeon. I had so much success as a child.
I play a character named Romeo. He's eager to be #1 and he won't stop until he get done what he gotta get done.
But sadly, you know, my Uncle C was locked up.
My son is blowing up, and you can see me changing, growing as a businessman, as an artist.
But no matter how much money I made,
my brother C still locked up, fighting for his life.
All my soldiers on lockdown, we love y'all. C Murder, hold it down.
Y'all know I'm in JPCC. They got me at first with a guilty verdict, but you know they did it wrong. My spirit's up, my people behind me, you heard me. Pray for me and everything will be cool.
After the first trial, I worked with Corey's lawyers and started doing an investigation. I've investigated the facts. I've talked to hundreds of witnesses. There's nothing that suggests that he committed the homicide that night. There is no forensic evidence that ties Corey to this incident.
In the process of their investigation, Corey Miller's legal team discovered prosecutors improperly withheld criminal background info on witnesses. So the judge granted Corey a new trial in 2006. After 3 years in jail, Corey was remanded to house arrest until a new trial. At C Murder's retrial, Darnell Jordan, the security guard at the club that night, once again was one of the key witnesses for the prosecution.
When prosecutors asked Jordan, who killed Thomas, Jordan answered, C Murder.
You know, they just kept trying to pressure me. I never seen a gun, never, ever. When I pulled Corey from the fight, his hands like this, no weapon, none. Shirt went up a little, no weapon. The prosecutors, they tricked me. And I feel like by it being a high-profile case, Jefferson Parish took it and ran with it.
The prosecution intentionally pushed to call him C Murder and quoted some of the lyrics from his songs. It is a horrific irony that Corey grew up in the Calliope and he was able to break free using his voice, and that's the same exact stuff that they're gonna use to keep him behind bars.
Them words came back to hurt him.
On August 11, 2009, the jury found Corey guilty of second-degree murder.
Despite Miller's criminal history, his family still believes he's innocent.
I have feelings my brother's innocent. Why is they doing this to my family?
Corey Miller was sentenced to life in prison. But the verdict that actually convicted him was not unanimous.
They'd have hung Jerry two nights in a row, the case should have been thrown out.
Corruption!
That's what it is. If 10 people say that you're guilty, you're guilty. That goes back to slavery and Jim Crowism.
That law was to dilute the ability of African Americans serving on juries. Louisiana was the only state where you can convict someone to life in prison with non-unanimous juries.
So now you have a man who, as it stands, on a 10-2 verdict, is going to die in prison.
All of this had a lot to do with Percy, $350 million Miller.
For Pete to be this rich black man, and he's doing it the right way, for him to have a brother that died senselessly, and another one that they're trying to make die in prison, and there's nothing he can do about it. It's the reality of Black America in so many ways.
You fast forward to 2016, that horrific Alton Sterling incident happened.
The black man is shot repeatedly by police, killed during an altercation. The deadly encounter captured on video.
Alton Sterling, pinned down by 2 white police officers outside the Triple S Food Mart in Baton Rouge.
He was selling CDs. A homeless man came up and pestered him for money. Sterling showed him a gun, told him to get away from him. That person called 911 and said that he had been threatened with a gun.
2 white officers responded, forced him to the ground.
What I did, so move on, shoot your ass, bitch.
They ended up shooting him on the spot.
We have to stand up for guys like Alton Sterling, because imagine that would happen to me. It wouldn't be no Master P right now.
You need me and I need you.
Remember all the sisters and brothers that got shot by the cops? We got our hands in the air and we still get popped.
The You Need Me song was about us coming together to bring light to what's truly going on. That could have been my dad.
We wanted to pass that emotion back to the world, to not forget this guy and not forget what we're going through.
We got our hands up, don't shoot. We all we got.
At the same time as Alton Sterling's decision was happening, C Murder was on a hunger strike.
Corey told me it is the people being outraged that's going to make a difference in my case.
What's up, y'all? This is the Ice Cream Man. I just want to thank all the fans for their prayers and their support for my brother Corey. He's not a model citizen. Me and him bump heads all the time. We haven't seen eye to eye in a while. But I'm not gonna let my brother rot in the cell. He's an innocent man.
Free Corey Miller! Free Corey Miller!
In July 2018, Master P returns to New Orleans with Silk and other family members to host a Free C Murder rally.
Music is not a crime, and naming yourself is not some crime. Evidence shows that he is innocent, and witnesses recanted their statements.
Mess with me mentally. I always have nightmares, so I had to let everybody know this man is innocent. Corey was never the shooter. I feared the cops. I feel for Steve's mother and father, but I know for sure the wrong guy sitting in jail for their son's murder.
Corey Miller's legal team filed for a motion demanding a new trial and calling for that sentence to be reversed. But in January 2019, a judge ruled a new trial cannot be granted.
We lost so many people to the streets, to the system. But let me tell you something. This happens every day in Louisiana. What we gonna do about it?